Hello, hello! We are about to start our 26th lesson. We are going to cover grammar, listening and writing parts. So let's get started. In order to understand fully all the grammar parts that we have covered last lesson, we are going to do some exercises. The first exercise, what we have to do, we have to connect the A part, we have to connect numbers with the letters. For example, I will do the first one. We will go to the beach, and what is the answer? E. If the weather is fine, we will go to the beach if the weather is fine. Please pay attention, we are not using here will be fine because here we have the word if. Please do other sentences on your own and then we are going to check together. So let's check our answers. The first one is E, as we have already mentioned. Second is C, that will buy some fireworks if they are not too expensive. Third, grandma will make a cake if she has time. This is E. Fourth, if it snows, we will make a snowman. This is F. Fifth is B. If we go to the mall, I will buy a CD. And the last one is if you don't go to bed, you will be tired in the morning. So now we are moving to the second exercise. For example, if he doesn't do his homework, he will not fully understand the topic. Sentence number 2. If my mother cooks palo, everyone will be happy at home. And the last one, if I have enough money, I will buy a Mercedes car for myself. Your sentences, please. Perfect. Now let's move to the exercise number 2. So in the exercise number 3, what we have to do, so in the next exercise, we have to think of endings for these sentences. So we have to use our own ideas so that we will continue these sentences. And please pay attention that you have to use here will. Do not forget to use it because we have already if plus present simple, and according to the formula, we have to use here future simple will. First, I will tell my own examples and then and then will be your turn. So first I will tell my own examples and then will be your turn. The first one, if it's a nice day tomorrow, I will go to the Tashkent City Park and I will buy some delicious ice cream. Second, if I go to the mall, I will buy beautiful summer clothes because it's getting hotter and hotter every single day. And third one, if my friend goes to the beach, she will definitely invite me and we will be swimming in a beautiful sea. So these are my sentences. Please, now it's your turn. Tell your sentences. Brilliant. And now let's move on to the last exercise of the grammar part. And what we have to do here, we have to think of the endings for these sentences as well. But what is required from us is to use present tense. Because, as you can see, we have already will. And after will, we use present simple. Because we have already here will, and after will there is if, and after if we always have to use present simple or sometimes present continuous too. So again, I will start first. The children will be very happy if their parents buy them a lot of toys and delicious sweets. I will read that book if my friend gives it back to me. So second, I will read that book if I read some reviews and they are very much positive. Third, we will eat pizzas if they do not have any sausages because we are vegetarian. So these are my sentences. Now it's your turn. Very, very good. Let's move to the next grammar part. So this is a very interesting part because we are going to learn about suggestions and offers, how to make them and how to answer. It will be very much useful for you in the future. So let's start. The first one. So how to make suggestions. If I ask you, for example, so how to make suggestions? Let's say you want to go to the cinema together with your friends to watch a movie tour. And how would you suggest it? You can say, shall we go to the cinema? One way. Second way, you can say, let's go to the cinema to watch the movie tour. And the third way is, how about going to the cinema? So the first structure is shall plus I or we plus verb. So shall plus we or I plus verb. Shall we can only use with these two pronouns. We cannot use with other like he, she, it, you, they. Never we can use it, alright? So only with I and we, and it means nima o'ylaysiz mana shunaqa qilsak? What do you think if we do this thing? And it means shuni qilsak bo'ladimi? For example, shall we go to the park? Parkka borsak bo'ladimi? Or it's very hot here. Shall I open the window? Bu yerda juda ham issiq. Oynani ochsam bo'ladimi? Next one is let's plus verb. So it also means we, alright? Inside of it, it has the word we. Let's go to the park. Keling biz parkka birgalikda boramiz. Or let's go to the cafe in the square. Keling kafega boramiz. So let's plus verb. Next one, how plus verb ing. Alright? So it means how plus about plus verb ing. How about going to the park? How about watching the movie tour? What do you think if we do this one? It means, alright? And the last one, why don't we plus verb? Why don't we go to the cinema? Kinoga borsak bo'lmadimi? Nimaga? So why don't we go to the cinema? Or why don't we go and see a film? So all of them are just synonyms, but they have got similar meaning. Alright, so if you say let's go to the cinema, if you say why don't we go to the cinema, if you say shall we go to the cinema, almost similar meaning. Alright, they mean almost the same thing. Alright, and how you should answer to them. You can say yeah, that's a great idea, or great idea. Yes, if you like. Alright, agar sizga yoqsa biz borsak ham bo'ladi. No, I don't fancy that. Fancy, it means no, menga bu yoqmaydi. Menga bu fikringiz yoqmadi. For example, let's go to the cinema. No, I don't fancy that. Let's go to the theater, for example. I don't mind. Men qarshi emasman. You choose. That sounds good, great, wonderful. Yeah, I don't mind. Yes, men qarshi emasman. I would rather do something else. How about going to the square to eat? How about going to the Ametimir square and walking there? I would rather do something else. Men boshqa narsani afzal ko'rardim. Let's go to the theater, I would like to watch their BEPUL performance. Or I would prefer to do something else. So all of them are replies or answers to these questions. So please now make 5 short dialogues using these words and answering with these replies. So now we are going to read similar conversations that you have already made. Let's go to the beach this afternoon. Shall we take a picnic? Yes, good idea. What shall we take? Let's take sandwiches and fruit. How about, you see, how about plus verb ing. How about taking some chocolates? If the weather is hot, the chocolate will melt. Melt, erib ketmoq. That's true. Shall we take some fruit juice? Definitely, certainly, of course. There is just one problem. How can we play for all? There is just one problem. How can we pay for all this? Shall we ask Mom? So they don't have any money. However, they are planning every single detail of the picnic. So they have no money at all, but they are planning every single detail. So usually this happens in our daily lives as well. We plan everything ahead. However, we do not plan the first step. We don't know what exactly we are doing right now, but we know what we are going to do in the future. However, what you have to decide first what you are doing, second and third, and other things as well. So, good job. Now we are moving to the listening part. So in the listening part, we are going to talk about papyrus. So the Chinese invented paper 2000 years ago. More than 5000 years ago, the Egyptians invented something very like paper. They called it papyrus. They made it from papyrus reeds. These tall reeds grow next to the river Nile in Egypt. So now let's listen to this recording, and what you have to do, you have to write the letters. Alright? So let's start.
Pupils Book, Unit 9, page 96. Activities 2 and 3.
First, the men went to the river. They cut the tall papyrus reeds with sharp knives. Next, they cut the reeds into short pieces. The outside of the reeds, the green part, was very hard, so they cut this off. The inside of the reeds was soft and white. They cut this into long, thin pieces. They took the long, thin pieces and placed them in a box. They placed the pieces side by side, first top to bottom and then across. Next, they covered the papyrus with a piece of cloth. Then they placed heavy stones on the cloth. The stones pressed down on the papyrus. There was sticky juice inside the papyrus, and the stones pushed this juice out. Soon all the long, thin pieces were sticking together. After a few days, the papyrus was dry. They took it out of the box and used it for writing and drawing. If you go to Egypt, you will see papyrus. Perhaps you will buy a papyrus picture.
So you have finished listening. Now let's check our answers. So the first one is C, second E, third is H, fourth is A, fifth is G, sixth B, seventh D, and the last one is F. I know for sure your answers are also the same. Now we are moving to the writing part. So in the writing part we are going to talk about these pictures and we have to write information about them. So again, here we have got Chinese inventions and we have to describe them as detailed as possible. For example, the Chinese invented paper money. They used paper notes because they were lighter and and everything could be visible there. Because the Chinese invented paper money, they used paper notes because they were lighter and they were brighter, and everything could be visible there. So, and other details. Now, please pause the video and do it by yourself. So, this is the examples that I have prepared by myself. Let me read it. The Chinese invented paper money. They used paper notes because they were lighter than coins and everything could be visible. So, light is the opposite of heavy. If light, this is ochre. If heavy, this is ochre. Light, this is yangel. They use paper bags to keep tea in them. The Chinese are very much famous for their tea. They made fans and umbrellas from paper. They painted pictures of trees, flowers, and birds on them. This fan has a picture of two pandas. They are black and white. They are eating leaves from a bamboo tree. These pretty umbrellas are yellow, green, and blue. There are pictures of pink flowers and birds on them. So, quite simple one. I didn't use much advanced vocabulary or grammar structures, so that it will be pretty clear to you. And yours would be standing out from mine. So, yours will be much better than mine, because you've been already learning for a long time and you have advanced your writing skills as well. And you have also advanced your writing skills. Yes? Good job. So this is the end of the lesson number 26. We have done today grammar, listening, and writing. So it was very much beneficial lesson for both of us. See you later. Goodbye.